This is the Langbinsi-Kasape Buzulungu Timpela Highway, a major regional route that leads from Langbinsi in East Mamprusi to connect the main Tamale-Bolgatanga Highway at Bimsi in the West Mamprusi municipality. There are several communities along this road where the residents are largely into subsistence farming, crop and livestock trade. This has been the only route for the residents to travel and do businesses in other parts of the region and beyond. But for weeks now, economic activities along the road have come to a complete halt, leaving the residents trapped and isolated after heavy rains destroyed two bridges on the road. Due to the collapse of the bridge, we cannot trade or access our farms. Our farm produces are rotting away and we are suffering, so we appeal to the government to come to our aid. The Member of Parliament Alhaji Baba Isifu Seidu, in response to the residents' call for rescue, paid a working visit to the area. In his interactions with residents of Buzulungu, they disclosed that the collapse of the bridge occurred about 3 weeks ago and that their only source of livelihood, which is farming, was now being threatened by the situation as they could no longer easily go to their farms and do businesses in places such as Nalirgu and Bolgatanga. This route leads to Bolga, but it's now completely inaccessible. The villages along this route cannot travel to trade in other communities. It is affecting farming here. The next community, Timpela, is only 9 kilometers away, which can now be reached only by motorbike through a newly created bush road. The MP and his team had to abandon their vehicles and resort to the new means of movement and transportation of the people. At Timpela, the situation was more dire as the community had been totally cut off. The chief said economic activities and access to basic services have been impeded and the community isolated by the destruction of the road bridge. He thanked the MP for the visit and appealed for immediate construction of the bridge.
If you look at this bridge, it was collapsed last year. But since then, no government official has came here to just sympathize with us to tell us that, oh, we are working on the project, except our MP. He came twice. So it means that this our community, we've been neglected for so long.
Speaking to the media, the Member of Parliament called on government to come to the rescue of the people.
So Timpela now invariably is an island on its own. They cannot access water. They cannot access a market. They cannot access hospital. They cannot access education. So it is very, very, very critical. They are in dire need for support. From Langbinsi to this point is about 19 kilometers. Look at where we are coming from. Assuming we have a pregnant woman who is in labor and has to access hospital, are you sure it will be easy for the pregnant woman to get to the hospital safely?
He also said he had already taken steps to ensure the Minister for Roads was brought before Parliament to explain why the contract for the construction of the road was abrogated by the government and when it will be re-awarded.
Yeah, I've filed a question. Fortunately, it has been admitted by Speaker, but it has not been executed on the floor of Parliament. I'm hopeful that, when we go back, the road minister will be brought before the Parliament and will engage, we'll have a conversation about this road and this bridge. This government is getting so insensitive to the plight of the poor. There has to be a regional balance in development. You have resources, you tap into the resources, you have to maximize and spread development to be able to bridge the gap between the rural and the poor communities. Look at where we are. How can you say that this is Ghana?
From Langbinsi, Ilyasu Tanko, Joy News.